All right, we're returning with David and
Dallin.
Sorry, I forgot. I'm going to admit to that. David and Dallin. They've already taken the plastic off. I'm sure they've looked inside their boxes already.
Yes, we did.
Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to set up a plan on how we're going to tackle this. This is his first model, and this is your first one
in 24 years.
Okay.
5.
Right.
A few more.
And they had some questions. They were asking what this is.
Yeah. You said it was a model, and there was pieces missing, but it doesn't look like what I looked at in here.
No, it's because this is a resin model kit.
Resin?
Resin. It's a cast material.
Oh, so
you mix 2 parts, pour it in a mold, and it solidifies.
And that's what you did?
No. I got it already in pieces.
Okay, so then you put all these pieces
I glue
together.
the pieces together, and it's very, very heavy.
Is that a different glue?
Hold that.
Oh, wow. That's pretty solid.
Oh, yeah. That thing is probably a good 4 or 5 pounds.
That's probably what your airplane's made out of that we got, your F-18.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it probably is.
Got a guy that works for a company that gave him an airplane that it feels like that.
Yeah, it's like the same.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyhow, these are all solid parts, and it's glued together with epoxy resin.
So is that a different glue than this?
Much different. These are ejection molded.
Mm-hmm.
They're styrene, and the glue we use on them, and I've got 2 kinds here I prefer. This is just me. There's more than just these 2. I have more than just these 2 here. We got the Tamiya Extra Thin, and we got the regular Tamiya. There's a white label that a lot of people like more than the regular Tamiya, but I like the regular Tamiya. This holds stronger.
Tamiya is the brand name.
Right. This holds stronger than this one. You paint this on, put the parts together. This one, you put the parts together, then paint it on. They work in opposite ways.
Oh, so you're putting that over like seams and whatnot?
No.
No.
No, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But
it
these are solvents. They melt the plastic.
Okay. And that's what you're doing is melting the 2 plastic pieces together.
And then the solvent dissolves and the plastic goes back, solidifies.
Gotcha.
So you're actually, some people say it's welding, some say it's not.
So this is plastic welding, and once we do that, we're pretty much done. I mean, it's...
Yes. Now, he's got a car kit. There should be little or no seam filling on that thing. You got a plane. It depends on how Hasegawa made their Typhoon kit.
Okay.
If they made their Typhoon kit very well, there will be almost no seam filling. If they didn't, we're going to have seam filling to deal with. We're going to have panel lines to rescribe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking different language, but I will figure it out.
This is skill level 2. This is probably skill level 3. It probably doesn't say on there, most likely.
Yeah, this one doesn't say.
No, but it's probably 2 or 3. It's a different... See, the different model types have different challenges. Okay? So let's take them one at a time. Go ahead and open this one since you're half open. Let's see what's in the box. We are faced with gray plastic sprue. And it looks like it's actually got some nice detail on it. We're going to open the bags in a second. Let's see what else is here. A separate bag for the clear canopy. That's always nice. And, ooh, you got some paint masking to do. We're going to have some fun with that one. We got a nice decal or decal sheet, depending on what part of the nation you're from. Okay? And I don't like the looks of part of this, so we're going to clear coat that before we put it on.
Whew, and a bunch of...
And a long fold-out page of directions. Go ahead and turn that over. On the other side, you have paint markings.
Oh, mercy.
How to paint it.
And a whole bunch of languages.
A bunch of different variations. Oh, yes, a bunch of different languages. They do that so they can market the kit worldwide.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So right off, when I look at this, I think that's the way when I was a kid, every one of them came out all gray, and then it was the finishing, it was the painting and everything. I just had no clue, so I'm looking forward to this because I want to make it look real.
All right, your turn. Open that up. I have a paint set for this, actually.
Awesome.
And with the monogram kit, the car body is in a separate bag and it has screws. And we're going to look that over in a second. You got a bag for the clear parts, and I don't like that they're loose. That means they can get scratched up. Okay, the 2 sprues should not be touching each other. And we got some interior parts.
Chassis.
And it does have an engine.
Yeah, I think we noticed the...
A separate engine and the spoiler.
Yep.
And the front air dam.
Yeah,
And it looks like that opens. The rear hatch opens, and there's your engine. Okay?
I was starting to get jealous when we looked through his.
He's got more parts than you do.
I know.
Yeah.
He actually bought a high-end model kit, not a low-end one.
Then the wheels.
Are those rubber?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
rubber. Most of the car models have rubber wire tires these days.
All right, that's gonna be my next
And
one.
they're actually well done because there are no seams running around on these tires. A lot of the times you have seams on the tires, and they're getting better about that.
Oh,
And it has some decals. It's just pinstriping decals and carbon fiber decals. So you don't have much of decals.
This is big instructions.
Yes, you're going to have a lot of instructions because you got a lot of little parts here.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, audience-wise, I'm probably not going to do full out-of-box review on these things because it's going to be a little bit on the crazy side. Okay? So, David, your
Yes.
plan.
oh.
Yeah, I'm going to give you your plan.
Okay, good, because I have no idea.
First thing we need to do is build the engine and the cockpit
Okay.
because you got to paint that cockpit before you put it together. Okay?
All right.
I have a paint set that'll work on that. You can brush paint the entire plane if you want because they're good brush paints. A Vallejo.
Okay, and when you say brush paint, that's as opposed to
Airbrush.
airbrush.
Okay.
Okay.
The airbrush is very hard to learn at first.
Good.
Once you get used to it, you're good. You, on the other hand, are going to end up airbrushing. Because to get that color red and black, we're going to have to airbrush. Okay? Because I don't have them in spray can, I don't think. Rattle can, that's what the model people call it.
Now you have an eye for this, John, and I have no clue. So how do you know to even start there and what to paint it? Like,
Okay,
any kind
now,
of-
good place to go is to go to some good online forums and start reading the build threads that other people have done.
Okay.
Now, this is a Hasegawa kit, which means it's fairly good quality. They're going to go in the order you probably should assemble the kit.
Oh, and you said the canopy, and you, sure enough, they're starting out with that.
They're starting off with the cockpit.
Wow.
Okay? And you have to paint the inside of the body a certain color before you can assemble it. So you got to put the cockpit together, then paint it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And does this say to paint it first?
It
or is that
does.
just your skill?
It's just
you know?
Japanese.
That's, there you go. Might as well
Okay.
be Greek.
I mean, it does. It does say to paint it first. And it's telling you that. You can see by the shading in here. The shading right there says paint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you when we go through the directions, you're going to see that it does say to paint them and how to
Okay.
paint them. Okay, yours is an American car company, so your directions are going to be primarily in English. Okay, whereas the Japanese companies, they don't really put words in their directions; they put symbols.
Okay,
You know
I'm seeing the
symbols?
symbols up here now. Yeah, the little remove, apply decals.
Yes, and they
Two
do
sets needed.
They do the symbols instead because they sell them in so many countries with so many languages.
Okay.
Okay, because people like the Japanese model kits.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
and
to.
the Chinese model kits and the Korean model kits.
For those older modelers out there, you're gonna need your reading glasses. I can tell already.
There's a pair right there. Okay. And again, with you were not going to have that much trouble. We're going to start by building the engine and the
Okay.
seats. We're going to build. What we're going to do for both of you is sub-assemblies, then paint.
Subassembly means
You do
Just
certain
dry it?
things together,
Okay.
and then you paint. Then you
Okay.
do certain things together, then you paint.
gotcha.
Okay. The car body on this gets painted separately from the engine and all sorts of other stuff. We need to look at the directions and see how much of this car body we can put together before we paint it. Like I know we can put the rear fin on it, the rear deck, the rear hatch. Okay. We don't want to put the glass in it first though, so we need to check that rear hatch and see how it works.
Okay.
So and you're going to end with some masking and painting.
Yeah.
On
That's
his painting, do you match the red with that you're gonna
Yeah,
paint
we're going to
it
have to
in-
match
in
the
that
red to
kind of-
those stripes, so we're going to have to do those stripes with paint. Not doing those stripes with paint won't be that hard. Because I do it all the time.
And you're gonna do that instead of the decals.
It would be better, it'll look better.
And that way you don't need to
But
match
the
it.
trick on that is keeping your paint coats thin. If you go heavy with the paint coats, it's going to look horrible. You got to go really thin with the paint coats when you're masking.
But that way he could do it whatever color he wanted, really.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to stick to that red and black. Okay?
I like that though.
Yeah, that's
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what drew his eye to the box, I'm sure. So we're going to get started, everyone. I am working on this while they work on theirs. I need to order some parts for that thing. Because one of my viewers told me I'm too detail orientated to just build a kit. Okay, so I'm trying to hold back and just build this one, but I got to put a distributor in it. I've got to do the seats properly, so I'm not holding back on everything. All right, so I'm gonna get working on this. I've already put the engine together, and I've already checked it, and I know what I can actually paint the engine block today. So we're gonna get started. Be back in a bit.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Gremlin update. I'm not used to saying that. I'm used to saying Honda update. I got the engine block together. That took about 20 minutes. That wasn't too bad. I stopped there because now I need to do some paint. Okay? I want to paint this. I could probably put the cylinder heads on there before I paint. Just not the valve covers. Okay? The real denim texture seats are now put together. That's clamped long enough to come out of the clamps. The clamps. The clamps. I watched too much Futurama one night. Anyhow. It's the truth. That's where that came from. I'm going to have to do some seam work on these seats. It's pretty bad. And I'm going to lose that denim texture on the sides. Still have it on the back, though. So that's as far as I've gotten on the Gremlin. We have the seats done. And the engine block. Once the seats are textured, they're ready for paint. Notice one thing. I've decided I'm going with the drag racer version. Yeah, roll bar inside, that sort of thing. Come on, nothing like a mean little car, right? With a V8 in it. I never realized these things had V8s. Yeah, if I'm going with the drag racer version. Oh, that is the battery. That would be a different color than the engine block. I had friends that had cars like this in high school. That definitely is not going to be engine block color. I got to figure out what color I'm painting this engine block. It's not a Ford, so it's not blue. It's not a Chevy, so it's not orange. I don't know what color AMC painted their engine blocks. My dad had an AMC Javelin. You think I would know? I don't. But that's about as far I can go on the engine right now. The rest of these little parts I'm going to treat like the Honda and paint separately and then glue together. But they're not as complicated as that Honda was, so it should go together fairly quickly. And I should get painting done fairly quickly. These intake horns are chromed and they're very, very, very weak. I got half a mind to take a piece of sheet styrene and some brass tubing and cut them. Cut some brass tubing and replace those things because they just don't look good at all. The carburetors are always slightly brassy colored, so I'm going to paint those a brassy color before they go on here. And this was aluminum, if I remember right, back in the day. Because I had a 72 Chevy Nova. And friends with Camaros and stuff. So, a little bit of painting on there. Just wanted to show you guys what I've done. Okay? And while the wife is building her Gundam, I built this little guy. Exia. I don't think he's too bad. Can't stand up holding that sword, though. Sword's way bigger than him. Tried to stand him up holding that sword, and he goes, ah, boom, ah, boom, ah, boom. All right, everyone. I'm going to go. I got to go clean some litter boxes, and I have 2 extremely large cats. You can't let that go for too long. It gets kind of bad. See you later.